Hi, today I'm going to tackle balancing equations. People don't like this. I promise after this really quick tutorial they'll become your best friends. So let's dive straight into it. I'm going to use hydrochloric acid as my example. I'm going to add it to sodium carbonate. And we produce sodium chloride plus water plus CO2. I know teachers have loads of different ways of showing you this, and I have used several methods myself, but I promise this works really well. So we start by drawing a dotted line underneath the arrow to split up the two sides, and now we're going to list on each side the elements. So we've got hydrogen here, chlorine, sodium, carbon and oxygen. And then, because you know that on the other side you're going to have the same, can you just write it here on the other side of the dotted line and make sure they match. Don't go writing them in a different order. It's really important you get them in the same order so you can see they read across. Okay, now I'm just going to tally chart how many atoms of each element I have. So I'm checking both compounds. I've got 1 hydrogen, 1 chlorine, 2 sodium, 1 carbon and 3 oxygen. Okay, now we're going to do the same to the right hand side. I've got 2 hydrogen, 1 chlorine, 1 sodium, 1 carbon and 1, 2, 3 oxygen. So now you can easily compare and see if the equation's already balanced or if you need to do some things. We can see straight away that our hydrogens aren't balanced because we've only got 1 on the left hand side and 2 on the right hand side. Chlorines are fine. Sodium again isn't balanced. There's 2 on the left hand side and 1 on the right hand side, and the rest are fine. So it doesn't matter really where you start, but I'm going to start with looking at the sodium. So I need 2 sodium on the right hand side, so I'm going to put a big 2 at the front. Remember, when you're balancing equations you are not allowed to split up your formula. The only thing you're allowed to do is add large numbers at the start of the compound. Okay, now it's important that we make adjustments. We now have 2 sodium on the right hand side and we have 2 chlorine. So I fixed that. Let's look again. Okay, our hydrogens aren't happy, so I'm going to this time put a 2 in front of the HCl. Let's adjust. Okay, step back, have another look. 2 hydrogens, 2 chlorines, 2 sodium, 1 carbon, 3 oxygen. And our equation is balanced. Let's have another go. Well, try and have a go at this first before I show you and convince yourself that you've really got it. If you can answer this, I promise you can answer any question that your teacher chucks at you. You are well and truly sorted. So we have potassium iodide, lead nitrate, potassium nitrate plus lead iodide. And let's get started. So remember, try and have a go first. I'm going to write down our elements. We've got potassium, iodine, lead, nitrogen and oxygen. Copy that across. Lots of elements in this equation. Okay, let's tally. We've got 1 potassium, 1 iodine, we've got 1 lead. Remember, the 2 outside the bracket counts for every single element in that bracket, so therefore we have 2 nitrogens. And then we have 2 times 3, so that's 6 oxygens altogether. Make sure you're happy with where I got that from. Right hand side, gosh, these pens are very, very smelly. Oh. We've got 1 potassium, 2 iodine, 1 lead, 1 nitrogen and 3 oxygen. So like I said before, this is quite complicated, but we're going to dive straight on in there. I'm going to start by looking at my iodine. I'm going to pop a 2 because I think that's a good idea, because then it will balance on the other side. Adjust, 2 potassium, 2 iodine. Take another look. Okay, our nitrogens aren't happy, so I'm going to pop a 2 in front of this compound here. And therefore we'll now have 2 potassium, 2 nitrogen, 2 times 3, so that's 6 oxygen. Great, okay, looking again, we've got 2 potassium, 2 iodine, 1 lead, 2 nitrogen and 6 oxygen. Yes, we're balanced. Make sure you always check, because if it doesn't make sense, you've obviously made a mistake and you need to start again. So I hope you found that helpful. As always, leave me comments and let me know how I can help you. Bye!